They said we have 48 hours to get out.
Flooding frustration, renters looking for help, being forced to find a new place to live.
Thank you very much.
Is this a sign of what's to come? We asked Cardi Finkbeiner if he's running for mayor and when he'll decide.
And celebrating the men and women who risk their lives to serve our country.
You know, you're always in the service, even though you're not.
The hospital system going the extra mile for our servicemen and women.
But first, the rain came back tonight. The skies opened up, pouring water on already soaked ground.
But there is good news ahead. Jay tracking drier weather. Welcome into 13 minutes of nonstop news. I'm Lee Conklin.
And I'm Diane Larson. Tonight's rain did not do any favors to people already dealing with the flooding. 13 ABC's Christine Long has that story in just a moment.
But we want to get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jay Burschbach tracking what's ahead overnight and tomorrow as well. Jay?
And Lee, we're tracking a drying trend, as you mentioned here. We have a few showers out there tonight, still lingering for the eastern half of the area, but looks like things on the up and up really for the next several days. Here's live Doppler 13,000 HD. Did have a little batch of severe weather pop up tonight in Sandusky County. The eastern half of the county had some hail, perhaps quarter-sized, and some very gusty winds, but that storm now has really weakened. What's left of it over here in Huron and Erie counties, and the motion takes it out of our area as it continues to push to the east at a moderate clip here, about 15 to 20 miles per hour. What you're seeing over Lake Erie, that's the mayfly swarm there, right over the center of the lake. And for the rest of us, just a few sprinkles tonight. Fog may form, though, with our recent rain and really the rain and the ground saturated. That's one of our bigger issues tonight into the morning drive will be reductions in visibilities. Speaking of tomorrow, this begins our trend here, drying out overnight, maybe a sprinkle in the morning near Lake Erie, but then the sunshine wins out. Holiday weekend still looking pretty good and looking warmer, and our next chance of rain is out there in the 7-day, but just not for the next couple of days. All the details on that and temperatures as they rise into that weekend in a few minutes. Stay tuned.
All right, Jay, thank you. Well, some apartment renters who suffered flood damage suddenly looking for a new place to live. 13 ABC's Christine Long live tonight along Lewis Avenue, North Toledo with what is new at 11. Christine?
For families in basement-level units, these aren't just basements, these are their homes. And for many people living in them, they're now homeless. Kendra Newsom carries what little she can salvage from her home at the Devonshire Apartments off of Lewis Avenue.
It flooded, and they said we have 48 hours to get out.
This mother of three says she had several inches of water throughout the living room, kitchen, bedrooms, and bathroom, like most basement units at the Devonshire's 3 buildings. Over the weekend, apartment management put those families up at hotels while the carpeting was ripped out. Then Monday, this voicemail.
Unfortunately, I've got some bad news. People got 24 hours to 48 hours at the most Wednesday to have all stuff out of the apartments because it's unsafe to live.
Now we're on our own, so they just pretty much threw us out.
To make matters worse, she has renter's insurance, but discovered it doesn't cover flood damage.
Mad, angry. I have 3 little kids, and it's such an inconvenience because 2 of them are babies. And so we pretty much have nowhere to go.
Everything I own has to be cleaned, so it's overwhelming.
Amber Teniente lives down Lewis at the Windhaven Apartments with her husband and their daughter Dorothy. She says at least 10 people there are displaced after the weekend flooding. She had several inches, which destroyed furniture.
All the flooring was bad, all the, carpet was bad. Everything was a mess.
She does not have renter's insurance.
My insurance had to be renewed 2 months ago. I couldn't afford to pay it at the time.
Teniente says she does not have to pay rent to apartment management or the electricity bill until she moves back in after new carpeting is installed.
Without it being clean, I can't take my 5-month-old in there.
Those 2 families are staying with other family members tonight. The Red Cross has offered to open a shelter, but they say they were told by some of the people living in the apartments that they don't want to stay in a shelter. So the Red Cross is working to connect them with other agencies like the United Way, who may help find a place for them to live. In the meantime, there is no timeline as to when these apartment units will be ready to be lived in again. Reporting live from North Toledo, Christine Long, 13 ABC Action News.
The heavy rain and flooding all play a role in toxic algae in Lake Erie. 13 ABC went out on the water with the charter boat captain. He helps test quality for the Ohio State University. Early visibility tests showed that the water is very cloudy. And the flooding also causing problems for crops in our area. Local farmers tell us this year's hay is in trouble. Hay is used to feed all kinds of animals, of course, and the cost of replacing it could eventually trickle down to meat and other products. We're continuing to cover the historic June flooding both on air and online. If you have damage in your home or high water, let us know by sending us an email to wtvg.news@13abc.com. You can also alert us on social media, Facebook or Twitter. Turning now to a developing story, the search continues for a Detroit area firefighter who disappeared days ago. According to the Wood County Sheriff Mark Vasilich, and firefighter Timothy Graves' car was recently found at a rest stop near Bowling Green. According to WXYZ in Detroit, no one has heard from him since he left work a couple of nights ago. If you have any information, you're asked to call the Wood County Sheriff.
A crime and safety alert now. He's accused of sexually assaulting a 9-month-old girl. 23-year-old Aaron Blevins, the man you see here, is set to face a judge tomorrow. Blevins is officially charged with rape. Children's Services launched an investigation in May. According to authorities, the doctors treated the baby for suspicious injuries that prompted the criminal case. Toledo police looking for the group who drove up and shot at a house while kids were outside. This happened around 10:30 last night along Euclid. Police say a teenager and a 12-year-old were playing in front of the house when a car pulled up with 4 people inside. One of the passengers reportedly took out a gun, pointed it at the kids, then shot a window in the home. No one hurt, though. Anyone who can help in this case is urged to call Crime Stopper.
New tonight, Ohio State Highway Patrol troopers teaming up with the Ohio Department of Transportation to make highways safer. The troopers in state are set to announce a new program tomorrow. Basically, ODOT will set up signs along the highway that list total traffic deaths for the year. The boards will also display safety messages. An official announcement is set for tomorrow morning in Columbus.
4th of July, just around the corner, this Saturday, a day, of course, to celebrate our country. And you can't do that without also thanking the men and women who fought and continue to fight to protect it. Mercy Hospitals are making sure that happens for every patient who's served. 13 ABC's Amy Montgomery has the story new tonight from St. Charles in Oregon. Amy?
Well, Lee, this program was implemented here at Mercy St. Charles back in February, and so far they've been able to honor 250 veterans. Now, the people who are involved with this program say this is the perfect way to show their gratitude and respect. This is Martin Clement, a father of 4, a proud grandpa, and the owner of an ice cream shop in Genoa. Currently, he's a patient at Mercy St. Charles.
I look to be out of here soon and resume duties of being a retired grandpa and an ice cream owner.
He's also an Army veteran who served 13 months in Korea.
It's been so long since I've been in the service, you know, that I haven't forgot, but you know, you think other people have.
But the staff at Mercy made sure he knew that wasn't the case.
We would like to present you with a card and a little American flag and thank you for your service to our country.
This pinning ceremony is part of a new program that started in Mercy hospitals in Tiffin and Willard. Jennifer Hinkle, the palliative care coordinator at St. Charles, knew right away this needed to be in the Toledo area.
We're honoring our veterans when they get admitted to the hospital, basically saying thank you for your service. And it's a privilege, really, to take care of you.
Along with the pin, veterans admitted to the hospital have an American flag magnet on their door, plus a card. Henkel says it's also a way to learn more about their patients during some of their most trying times.
Maybe they're at a really crucial time in their life and they're really sick, and they do talk about it, and it's therapeutic for them, and it's a way for us to help them.
For veterans like Clement, this little gesture had a big impact.
It was just nice to be recognized, and I felt proud that, you know, that they were doing something like this.
In Oregon, Amy Montgomery, 13 ABC, Action News.
New in your vote, former Toledo Mayor Carty Finkbeiner took to the streets today. Finkbeiner and supporters held signs at the corner of Talmadge and Monroe earlier tonight. We asked the former mayor if this means he's officially throwing his hat into this year's race.
Haven't officially declared yet, but thinking seriously about it.
All greater citizens.
Right now, only current Mayor Paula Hicks Hudson, Sandy Drabick Collins, and Opal Covey have officially filed to run in November. New tonight, Ohio Governor John Kasich has signed the two-year state budget. The $71.2 billion plan continues the expansion of Medicaid and provides income tax cuts. Kasich also vetoed 44 provisions before signing the budget earlier tonight.
All new tonight at 11, the effort to make marijuana legal here in Ohio, one step closer to a vote. Supporters turning in nearly 700,000 signatures backing the proposed constitutional amendment today. State needs to validate just over 300,000 for that initiative to be on the ballot in November.
The Toledo Area Humane Society is getting ready for a big move next week. Executive Director Gary Willoughby tells 13 ABC that the facility will move from Indianwood Circle to Illinois Avenue. We're told the new building is about twice as big and more than doubles the space for animals outside. The Humane Society's been at the same location for 34 years. The move starts on Monday and will continue through Friday next week. That means the Humane Society will be closed. The executive director tells us that he's been in contact with other shelters. Anyone who needs to surrender an animal during the closing will need to go somewhere else.
New details tonight on that prison break in New York State. Prison superintendent, security chief, and 10 other staffers are on leave tonight. That after 2 convicted killers escaped earlier this month. Another guard and a prison employee are accused of helping those escapees. Authorities shot and killed Richard Matt near the Canadian border. They caught, shot, and wounded David Sweat. Sweat telling investigators he did not use power tools, but rather started cutting through the walls with a hacksaw blade in January. A new video into our newsroom tonight shows a dangerous police chase out of Michigan. Take a look at this here. Macomb County Sheriff's Office says the 16-year-old suspect nearly hits a pedestrian. Then a deputy tries to pull him over, but he takes off, crashing into a river. This actually happened last Wednesday. The video coming out today. The teen tried to hide in the river, but a deputy eventually used a taser and arrested him. Well, soccer fans hit the mall tonight cheering on Team USA. Well, they packed Claddagh at Franklin Park, lining up to watch the women from USA take on Germany.
I think they deserved it. They've worked really hard this year. They have a solid team. They have some older players like Abby Wambach that are still around, showing some of the new ones like Brian and stuff, the ropes. I think they really deserve where they're at right now.
Knows their stuff. As for the game itself, another dominating defensive effort by the Americans. They pitch a shutout for the 5th straight game. Carly Lloyd scores on a penalty kick midway through the second half, and Kelly O'Hara scores in the 85th minute to give Team USA the lead for good. The Americans win 2-0. They'll play in the World Cup Finals on Sunday.
Local heroes were honored for their work in healthcare tonight. The annual Healthcare Heroes Award took place tonight. Organizers say it's a great way to recognize the men and women who are dedicated to helping people in our community.
People in healthcare often are not looking for recognition, and this event really seeks to find those people who are doing extraordinary things and really bring out the best in healthcare.
13 ABC's Christian Brown served as tonight's Master of Ceremonies.
New at 11, here's a look ahead of what's in tomorrow's editions of The Blade. ProMedica's downtown project will get $5 million in historic preservation tax credits. Vistula Heritage Village in North Toledo will get about $250,000. Plus, city leaders in Maumee looking to limit the size of headstones. That move coming after ice jams destroyed dozens of grave sites at Riverside Cemetery back in March. You can read more about these and other stories in tomorrow's edition of The Blade and at ToledoBlade.com.
Looks like a war zone. This your basic things that we all take for granted. It's just gone.
13 minutes after 11, still much more ahead. Homes burned to the ground where an out-of-control fire is devastating a community.
Caught on camera, a driver tries to beat the bridge.
He's hitting it just at the moment it's starting to go up.
Police say the guy behind the wheel may have had no idea what just happened.
Please go inside, people.
And on the loose, the bear causing quite a scene.
It's real, y'all. The bear buckles me.
This bear know he hit, man.
How police tracked it down coming up.
Those stories plus Jay says the rain's moving out. A real taste of nice summer weather is on the way. We're back in just 35 seconds.
This is 13 ABC Action News with Diane Larson and Lee Conklin. Now, 13 ABC First Warning Weather with Chief Meteorologist Jay Berschbach.
Weather got a little bumpy throughout the evening. Some strong thunderstorms, heavy downpours, even one severe storm in eastern Sandusky County. But now just a light shower left over here for Huron County, just clipping Erie County. That's moving on through and will move out tonight. Behind it, sprinkles near Lake Erie as you begin your day Wednesday. As far as temperatures out there today, well, it only got in the mid-70s, so we're looking here at our weather system showing, well, the weather in motion. Mid-70s prevented more widespread severe weather here, but just to our southeast, day 2 for them with a round of severe weather. So here, yes, it got humid, it got a bit stormy, but it wasn't all that bad, with most areas receiving, as you'll see, under a ½ inch. Keyword there, most. 76 was your high, 60 your low. Amazing at the airport, just a trace of rain today. So we'll talk about how that sets up our record for the month of June. Other areas here with our Viper HD system showing the heaviest rain west of Port Clinton, near the lake shore, and then into Michigan, just north of Highway 50 up there. So Monroe to Dundee northward in that green area, 1 to 2 inches. Hop into Ohio, and you can see at the most here 0.5. So thankfully that shouldn't make the rivers rise any more than they would have, but it did kind of level a few off. So we'll get to those tomorrow morning. As far as rainfall amounts for the month of June, again, with that lack of rain at the airport today, was kind of all around us. We're going to end up, I think, in 4th place here. The official numbers come out in about 45 minutes, but still pretty memorable month of June with that heavy rain. 66 the current temperature, some haze trying to form. West winds are at 6, dew point now down to 59. And elsewhere, very consistent temps here in the mid to upper 60s. The 2 warmest spots, Tiffin and Sandusky, both at 69. As far as our forecast, not much in the way of a rain tonight. Again, and if anything, a sprinkle. Areas of drizzle here at 7 a.m. So your clock, don't forget, it's always up in the left-hand corner. And after that drizzle and fog lifts away, turns out to be beautiful tomorrow afternoon. So whether it's recovery efforts or just a chance to go for a walk on some drier pavement, it's looking okay. Thursday, just as nice, some more haze early, then sunny skies late. We'll be in the mid-70s both days. And Friday, a little bit warmer, upper 70s, but just as nice. Dry weather here on Predictor all the way through Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Here's your forecast tonight. Showers out there east of us and sprinkles slowly wrapping up. Patchy fog developing, and there's that light west breeze. 56, a few degrees below the normal. 74 for tomorrow. Happy Wednesday. Partly sunny, pleasant day with those west winds 5 to 15. And the slow warming trend accelerates for the holiday weekend. 77 Friday. 80 for the 4th of July on Saturday, 80 again for Sunday, and our next chance of rain should hold off until Monday and Tuesday. With it, more humidity and temperatures back near average in the mid-80s each day. So this is our pattern change a lot of folks have been waiting for, and it's coming in tomorrow. Starts off tomorrow and continues for at least 5 days. We deserve a break.
You bet.
And we also deserved an extra second. Did you enjoy the leap second today?
I didn't know what to do with myself. I had so much extra time.
You used it up, right? Yeah.
Of course.
But at 8, basically 7:59, right before 8 o'clock, we got an extra second to adjust the worldwide clocks to kind of synchronize everything, so everything's back in balance.
It did kind of mess up some things, though, with the
computer
process.
glitches, yeah.
It did. Yes. It did. So be careful tomorrow at work, perhaps. Just a little, just that 1 second with these computers so precise can make a little difference
All right.
there.
Jay, thanks.
Okay.
Well, still to come, the NFL star putting his skills to use at a concert. Why J.J. Watt might want to consider becoming a bouncer.
And a little bit later, showing courage against all odds.
It's emotional, so yeah, it's cool to see.
You're going to meet the teen whose walk across the stage to get his diploma had incredibly special meaning.
First, here are tonight's winning lottery numbers from your official lottery station, 13 ABC. Thousands of people are still evacuated from their homes in Washington state. This is the problem, a massive wildfire burning out of control, already torching dozens of homes. Some families have been allowed to return, but at least 24 houses burned to the ground. Take a look at this video out of South Carolina. This happened in May, but police are just releasing the video. It shows a fiery crash that shut down the interstate for hours. Authorities say more than 10 vehicles were involved, including a tanker truck. Several people suffered only minor injuries.
A new video into our newsroom tonight. Surveillance cameras catching this Florida driver barging through a barricade and jumping the top of a drawbridge. And police say he likely didn't see the bridge was going up. Tonight, that driver behind the wheel is charged with reckless driving. Houston Texans star in the right place at the right time. J.J. Watt was at a concert in Milwaukee on Sunday. He played his college ball at Wisconsin. That's when a fan tried to rush the stage, but Watt tackled him. Picture perfect there, good form. Posted the video on Twitter with the comment, "Nobody messes with the Zac Brown band."
A Virginia neighborhood woke up to an unusual sight.
Please go inside, people.
Police saw a bear had made its way into a community in Richmond. Authorities tackled the animal, or tracked it, that is, for about 3 hours, and they eventually used a tranquilizer. If the bear is healthy and has been released back into the wild. Well, coming up in sports, the Americans try to advance in the World Cup finals.
Plus, I'm Steve Slifka at Comerica Park, where Jim Harbaugh's tour of the United States makes a stop here at Comerica Park so he can flash his arm strength off the mound.
13 ABC Action Sports teaming up with BCSN. Now, here's Dave Hogue.
Tigers and the Pirates tied at 4 right now in the 11th inning. They've thrown almost 400 combined pitches so far, but the one everyone's talking about is that first one. Here's Steve Slifka.
Dave, the Jim Harbaugh summer tour has taken him all over the country, including Alabama, where he famously took his shirt off a few weeks ago to participate in his football camp. And now Jim is right here at Comerica Park to throw out the first pitch before the Tigers and the Pirates.
I was trying to be Mark Fidrich. I mean, every time I went to pitch in a Little League game, I was talking to the ball and patting the mound. So Gates Brown and Mark Fidrich, those two stand out. My dad took us to ball games. That was one of the great things about growing up, and the best part of it, really. I mean, the best part was all of it, but every single memory is so thick about going to Tiger Stadium, and the drives over to those were good parts. Just driving over in the car, my dad and brother, and you roll up the windows, turn off the radio. You didn't have cell phones in those days, but you just talked and shared stories and laughed, and I remember those as much as I do being at the game.
With July finally here, the Jim Harbaugh PR tour, if you will soon come to an end, as football practice is right around the corner. At Comerica Park, Steve Slifka, 13 ABC Action Sports.
Love the Khakis with the uni. Indians and the Rays, third inning. Jason Kipnis continues to throw this team on his back. He is sizzling. Solo shot. Indians lead 1-0. More power in the 8th inning. David Murphy hits one into the stratosphere. Or is it the mesosphere? Maybe the troposphere. Help me out, Bershbeck. Which one? Well, I guess the game's indoors, so it really doesn't matter. Indians win 6-2. Mudhens and the Bulls, bases loaded for Jeffrey Marte. Bases clear. Grand slam, 13th homer of the season. Toledo's offense explodes for a 10-3 win. Women's World Cup semifinals, Germany, #1 in the world, against the second-ranked Americans. Scoreless after 68 minutes. Alex Morgan taken down inside the box, so it's a penalty kick. Carly Lloyd cashes in. USA up 1-0. 15 minutes later, a little insurance. Lloyd beats her defender. Beautiful center to Kelly O'Hara. That's the dagger. Americans win 2-0. They will play for the World Cup on Sunday against the winner of England and Japan. What a win for the Americans. A lot of people didn't think they had a shot. They get it done.
Good stuff. Dave, thank you. Waco weather forecast is just around the corner.
Here's a live look from our 13 ABC Tarta Tower action cam. Jay right back with what to expect in the morning.
Tomorrow looks like a nice day. We start you off in the 50s there around 7 or 8 o'clock, rising into the mid-70s. So dry, partly sunny. Just as nice Thursday, Friday, and the weekend warmer and dry for the 4th of July. That rhymes with highs near 80 for the weekend.
Well done, Jay. Well, finally tonight, a high school graduate took a life-changing walk. This is video of Tyler Ball walking across the stage to get his diploma. Ball has spina bifida and hadn't taken more than 8 steps without crutches his entire life.
Well, determined on graduation night, Tyler made the journey across that stage, and he got a well-deserved standing ovation. 13 minutes of nonstop news back tomorrow at 11 right here on 13 ABC.
For Lee Conklin, Jay Bershback, Dave Holmes, and all of us at 13 ABC, I'm Diane Larson. Next scheduled news tomorrow at 4:30 a.m.
Your first warning storm team springs into action whenever severe weather threatens. Only on 13 ABC.
Jim.